together. There's a walking tour of Platteville and Indian Parks mentioned in there. There is a picture in there because I remembered going through that park when I was a kid on a bicycle. The flat stone that no one can read, the giant limestone stone. I could have swore there was a big giant pine tree in front of it, and it's not there anymore. It's in that historic tour of Platteville book. I went, ah, there's my tree. I did remember correctly.
Is that the 2 tours?
The 2 tours, yeah.
Okay, and that is still available for sale for $2 at the museum. 2 historic walking tours of Platteville.
Does anyone else have anything they remember about the park that you'd like to share or speculate about?
Wouldn't the city have some kind of record of those trees being taken out as cost effective or something? This had to be in my lifetime.
Well,
I mean, it's not that far back, really.
problem. There's also 3 trees that have shown up there that there's no record of, but I'm trying to not step on toes and I'm not succeeding.
One thing about this big stone is in the park there, it's quite large. Now, there is some evidence that a Platteville citizen was buried under the same thing. You go into the Oregon Trail records, and a Platteville member was going along the Oregon Trail. John Holman was one of the founders of Platteville, the original founders. You're talking 1829, 1827, 18, it was in the early founding of Platteville. He was here. He was a developer and whatnot. He did a number of things. His son, I think, was the person that was on the trail, and they buried him underneath a large stone. Now, we do know there was some people here from Scotland and different places. This was the way a lot of those people tended to be buried, was under a large slab, not under something else. So we're trying to figure out on this writing, we've tried a number of things. We're looking at 3D imaging now and a lot of other stuff. Some people have tried stuff. But we do know that we have evidence that some people from the Platteville area were buried underneath this process. So
Holman was Alona Kinsey's grandfather, as I remember.
I'm not
So
sure.
that's where some of her stories came from.
But we've got evidence going back on the Oregon Trail and some documents there. So we're still digging on a lot of stuff on that.
Oh, I could just say that John Holman, he died on the Oregon Trail. The Oregon-California Trails Association has preserved the site. There's a marker there now. It says on the end, he died of cholera. They covered the grave with solid rock, his name, age, and place of residence engraved on the slab for a large tombstone. Then we covered the grave with sod. I thought that was interesting because we have one.
And then also on a lot of these stones, they put the place where they came from. So in other words, there's a different way of marking the grave that we don't tend to do, or hasn't been done in the 1900s, late 1900s and stuff like that, that we put in dates and stuff like that. But this is a different way that might have been done at that time period. And so we do have evidence of markers similar to that, which tie into people from Platteville.
I'm going to steal your show. I want to thank everybody for coming, and also tell you that next Thursday, Tracy Roberts, an emeritus professor at the university, is going to be here to speak about why Wisconsin is called the Badger State. And also next month, March 26th, we're going to give you information about the wild man from Borneo, who was actually from Platteville. That'll be Terry and hopefully Nettie Otter. And now I'm going to turn it over to you coming up here and asking your questions.
Could I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In Sunday's Telegraph Herald, there was an article that I read about. It was called "The Mounds Along the Mississippi River." And obviously it's about the Native American mounds. But the last couple of inches of the article really hit home for me, and I'd like to read it to you. And I think, you know, we're talking about Native Americans here, but it holds true for all people, whether you be Native American, African American. Hispanic, white, whatever culture, whatever race, it holds true for all of us. I try to be cognizant of cultural appropriation these days. I make no assumptions about the lives and ways of indigenous peoples who built these mounds. Instead, I focus on what I believe we hold in common, though it often bears repeating, reminding, and reteaching. That the land that holds our dead is sacred. That the land that bears and cradles our lives is sacred. That sacred lands be treated with reverence. Thanks for coming today.
Is this,
Yeah, it's on.
is this your camera?
Yeah, we're gonna put it on.
Thank you all for coming. Please feel free to stick around, mingle, talk, ask questions.